A porcelain mug, a steaming kettle, a pyramid-shaped tea bag sitting in hot water, and 11.6 billion particles dissolving invisibly into that cup. That is not a horror movie. That is your morning tea ritual, and it is happening right now in kitchens across America. A peer-reviewed study published in the journal Environmental Science and Technology found that a single plastic tea bag, steeped at a brewing temperature of around 212 degrees Fahrenheit, releases approximately 11.6 billion microplastic particles and 3.1 billion nanoplastic particles into your drink. Nanoplastics are fragments so small they are measured in billionths of a meter, particles so tiny they can cross the intestinal wall, enter the bloodstream, and accumulate in organ tissue. You are not just drinking tea, you are drinking plastic soup, and the brands responsible have known about the materials used in their bags for years. Microscope laboratory slides and polymer fiber analysis equipment reveal exactly what these tea bags are made of. The premium pyramid bags sold by brands like Lipton, Bigelow, Stash, and Twinings in the United States are not paper. They are woven from plastic, primarily polyethylene terephthalate, which is the same plastic used in single-use water bottles, and nylon, the same synthetic fiber found in pantyhose and backpack straps. These materials were chosen by manufacturers for one reason. They are cheaper to produce at scale than unbleached paper. They hold their shape in hot water without tearing, and they look elegant on a store shelf. The branding says premium. The chemistry says plastic mesh bag, designed to withstand industrial wash cycles. The study's authors at McGill University in Canada calculated those 11.6 billion particles by steeping multiple commercially available pyramid bags at standard brewing temperatures and then analyzing the water using electron microscopy. This was not a fringe study. It was peer-reviewed, published in a respected environmental journal, and cited by researchers internationally. The FDA has issued no consumer guidance in response. Glass beakers filled with cloudy water samples and electron microscope imagery of fractured polymer chains show what happens to those particles after you swallow them. Microplastics, fragments larger than 1 micrometer, 1/1,000,000th of a meter, have been detected in human blood, lung tissue, placental tissue, and colon polyps in peer-reviewed clinical research. Nanoplastics, the smaller category released in vastly higher concentrations by plastic tea bags, are the more alarming concern because their size allows cellular penetration. Research published in the journal Nature Nanotechnology found that nanoplastic particles can cross biological membranes that larger microplastics cannot, including the gut lining and potentially the blood-brain barrier. Think of it this way. A microplastic fragment is like a grain of sand in your bloodstream. A nanoplastic is more like a gas molecule, small enough to pass through walls your immune system was never designed to stop. The long-term bioaccumulation effects of chronic low-term nanoplastic exposure in humans have not been fully characterized because this field of research is only a decade old. The industry's position is that this means the risk is unproven. The honest scientific position is that absence of long-term data is not the same as absence of harm. European Union regulatory offices and Environmental Health Agency briefings in Brussels present a completely different policy response to this evidence. The European Chemicals Agency has been actively reviewing microplastic release from consumer products under the REACH regulation, which stands for Registration, Evaluation, Authorization, and Restriction of Chemicals. In 2023, the EU enacted one of the broadest microplastic restriction policies in history, targeting intentionally added microplastics in products ranging from cosmetics to agricultural pellets, with enforcement timelines running through 2035. Several EU member states, including France and Germany, have additionally pushed for accelerated labeling requirements on single-use plastic food contact materials. Meanwhile, The FDA classifies food contact plastics under its generally recognized as safe framework, a system that was largely designed for chemical additives in food, not for the physical shedding of polymer particles into beverages at boiling temperatures. The regulatory gap is not subtle. In Europe, the microplastic crisis in consumer products is an active legislative priority. In the United States, it is a footnote in a guidance document that has not been substantively updated in years. Supermarket tea aisles lined with colorful boxes, paper tea bags stacked in bulk bins at Whole Foods, and loose-leaf tea sitting in glass jars at specialty retailers show that a real alternative infrastructure already exists. The fix to this problem is not complicated. Paper tea bags, specifically unbleached, chlorine-free paper tea bags like those used by brands such as Numi Organic, Pukka, and Traditional Medicinals, release no detectable plastic particles into brewing water because they contain no plastic. The McGill study confirmed this directly. Paper bags tested as controls in the same study showed negligible particulate release compared to the plastic pyramid bags. Loose-leaf tea, brewed in a stainless steel or ceramic infuser, is the cleanest option available, with zero polymer contact at any brewing temperature. The price difference between a box of plastic pyramid bags and a comparable box of paper-bagged or loose-leaf tea at a retailer like Trader Joe's or Whole Foods is often under $2. $2 is the cost of removing 11.6 billion plastic particles from your daily routine. The industry bet that consumers would never look closely enough at the bag itself. They bet wrong. Loose-leaf tea tins, ceramic mugs, and stainless steel infusers on a clean kitchen counter make a simple swap. When you buy tea, look at the bag material. If it is shiny, if it holds a perfect pyramid shape, if it feels like fabric rather than paper, it is plastic. Flip the box and look for the words paper tea bags, plant-based bags, or compostable bags on the packaging. If those words are absent, assume plastic label. Truth audits what the label hides from you, because the companies responsible for this are counting on your trust and your silence. Share this video with every tea drinker you know. What you just learned is not on any label currently sold in American stores. And if you think invisible plastic in your morning cup is alarming, what is happening in American bathrooms is worse. In February and March of 2026, federal regulators and independent labs confirmed the presence of benzene, the same carcinogenic solvent found in industrial fuel exhaust, inside widely sold benzoyl peroxide acne products. Benzene does not belong in any product that touches human skin. It is a known human carcinogen, classified at the highest level by the International Agency for Research on Cancer. Yet tube after tube, brand after brand, sitting on the shelves of CVS, Walgreens, and Target, tested positive. The recall wave has already begun. The FDA spent March of 2026 scrambling to fast-track approvals for new sunscreen actives like bemotrizinol, a chemical that has been used safely in Europe for over 2 decades, but has been blocked from American shelves for years by a regulatory backlog. Europe had the safer ingredient ready. Americans were using the contaminated one. The agency that was supposed to prevent this could not get the paperwork done in time. That investigation is next. But you do not have to wait for the next recall to protect your family. To get every audit and stay ahead of the chemicals they are not telling you about, hit the subscribe button now and turn on all notifications. Cancer in a can. The 2026 benzene crisis, what is recalled, what is still on shelves, and what the FDA knew before you did.